This is Tecker 911, episode 77, Gmail. I'm Dame.
And I'm Gdovin, and today we're going to talk about Gmail, which is Google's free email service. It is really great. I use it for all my mail, so does Reed and Jordan, and it gives you 7 gigabytes of storage space, so it's a lot of space that I can't even fill. I've been trying.
Right, so when you sign up for a Gmail account, you're not only signing up for an email account, but a Google account, which also lets you sign into things like Google Docs, Google Reader, and Picasso, which is Google's photo service. So you're just getting a Google account as well as a Gmail account. Just making that clear. You sign in, you can go to gmail.com or mail.google.com and you can create an account. We already made a Tecker911 at gmail.com, which is not our official email, don't use it.
911 at Tecker.net.
So when you first sign in, you'll see Gmail sends you something to help you get started. Something in Gmail, it just stores it away in the all mail. And then you can just go back and look at all the email you've ever gotten, because some people just save all the email they ever get in Gmail. And that's really nice because it has such a large storage capacity, you can do that. And now that you've archived all your messages, so if you save everything, you can use the great search feature, just like Google, to search back all your messages. So now that you've archived your email, you can use the great search feature in Gmail, just like Google, to search back, say, a conversation you were in 3 years ago on email, and you can just pull it up right there, and it saves it all for you.
If you ever want to get rid of something, you could just delete it. And the trash, you can even leave it in the trash can for 30 days until Google automatically clears your trash can. Another neat thing you can do is star an email. So if you put a star next to this email and then archive it, it'll appear in the all mail and it'll appear in your starred. I use this for very important emails, like maybe things that relate to accounts or things I'm doing currently and I need to get done.
Yeah, I use stars basically for to-do. Now we're going to show you some of the other great features of Gmail. In addition to just basic email, saving stuff, deleting it, there's also all these settings you can go to. One at the bottom of this page, in addition to vacation reminder and stuff like that, always use HTTPS. Which
we highly recommend, because that open Wi-Fi network, your data being traveled between the computer and the server are not going to be intercepted because it's going to be securely encrypted.
So that's saying if you're
especially
at Starbucks,
if you're using this for business or anything important or private.
Yeah, that's saying if you're at Starbucks, because they have unencrypted wireless internet, no one can intercept your message and read the text. So if you want to make a new message in Gmail, you just go in the upper left to compose mail. And then if you start typing like our Tecker email, 911 at Tecker.net, you have your subject, and then if you have the main email text box to compose your message in, you have bold, italic, all the normal text features, text color, and then it has check spelling on the right there, so it'll check your spelling for you, just like Outlook or other email programs.
All you gotta do is hit send, and it will send to, I mean, it's basically like regular email. You just send it and it's nice and fast.
Very fast.
As long as you're on a reliable connection. It gets slow if you're on a really slow connection, but it's decent.
Let's say you're composing an email to Tecker again, and then you want to finish it later because you need to look something up or you don't have time to finish it now. Save Now saves it as a draft. And then that'll be in your drafts folder. It says you have one draft.
So when you have the information you need, you can go right back, pick up where you left off.
Yeah, and just finish that email. Other things inside, as you're composing an email in Gmail, it will automatically save a draft in case you lose your internet or your computer crashes. And then you can go back in your drafts and pick up where you left off. But sometimes it doesn't save it as instantly as you type. So you're going to make sure you hit save.
Other cool things you have are filters and labels. Filters allow you to say, if an email is from somebody, put it this place. So if I say, one's from mike@tecker.net, which is my email address, and I click next step, and I could say, okay, what do I want to do with it? I could say, mark it red, don't put it in the inbox, it goes straight to this, and say, apply the label.
So you could make it so...
we'll call it Mike Mail.
So you could make it say all the messages from your boss, or in addition, all the messages that have the word due date are instantly start, so you know that's something you have to do. And
you can say start, and now it creates the filter, and every time that happens, it'll be put in the label.
Yeah, so
and source your mail. I have probably, on my Gmail, I probably have 20 or 30 filters for all my different stuff I'm doing.
Labels are somewhat like folders, except they're a lot better because you can have a message in more than one label, and you can't have a message in more than one folder. Also, they're conditional based. So you could say anything from people at work that has an attachment, that's a label. Anything that has a certain word is a label. And I really like that feature that you can't do with folders.
Another thing you can do with labels is, in case you don't have like a filter set, but you see this email, I mean, this one's not applying to any of our labels, but if you just want to put it in for some reason to a different label, you can just select it as it comes in and just go put that in the Mike label.
Yeah, so you check it and then go to the More Actions menu. Also in the More Actions menu, we have things like you can remove the label, add a star.
You can make it into a filter.
So let's say you're on your Gmail account and you realize you need to access email on your mobile device or on a computer that you don't feel like using the web version of Gmail. Gmail has something called POP and IMAP, which are separate ways to access email, not going to gmail.com. So basically, let's say you want to use Microsoft Outlook for email. If you enable IMAP and then access your Gmail using Outlook, everything that you delete on Outlook will be deleted on the gmail.com version of Gmail. And anything, if you make a draft, it'll be online. It's a great way to synchronize up your email. POP is an older way of synchronizing and sending email.
But it is still much faster than IMAP. IMAP's really slow because it's directly connected to the server.
Well,
POP is faster because it copies the device. And sometimes, I also want to recommend that if you do use POP, make sure you say, if you want to keep a copy in your Gmail, you might want to say leave a copy on the server. So that way, even if you change things around on your POP, it won't be messed up on your IMAP or on your Gmail.
With POP, let's say I read a message on my mobile device, it'll still say unread on the web version. And POP has these basically two settings, that if I download something, it deletes it from the gmail.com version, or it just doesn't touch it at all. And I really like the IMAP where whatever I do on my mobile is synchronized up.
So if you have a different email account like MSN, Yahoo, or you have your own server and it supports POP, you can set it up to all go in your Gmail and use it almost like Outlook that's online. So all you gotta do is add another mail account, and you just gotta put in all the POP information, and that information will now, all the mail will go into your Gmail. And if you want, you can also send as that address by adding another email address. It's really simple. All it does is send an email address to your other account, you gotta get a PIN number, and then once you copy the PIN number into Gmail, you can send email under that address. Another cool thing you can do is labs, which is basically extra features you can add onto your Gmail. So there's stuff like tasks, there's superstars, which gives you different types of stars, pictures in chat, fixed with font, mouse gestures. There's all sorts of different things you can add on. Canned responses, you can have additional IMAP features added in. I enabled a lot of these. I like this one's kind of funny. It's mail goggles. So you get that. So it's like maybe it's after 10 o'clock and you might be tired or something's different. Your mind's not fully adaptable. So you're probably not going to be very lucid when you send an email. So it pops up with little math problems you got to do before you can send your email. And if it doesn't work, then it's going to not send your email and save it as a draft. I also like this one because I do this all the time, is forgotten attachment. So it'll basically, if you scans your email and sees the word attachment and you don't have an attachment, it'll actually tell you, remind you to add an attachment, which might get annoying if you haven't done it, or if you don't want an attachment, but it's pretty good if you forget like I do, because I always forget. Vacation time, for like vacation reminders, I can color your labels, and there's just many different things you can add on. Another neat thing you can do is customize the way your Gmail looks. So you can go through all these different themes, and it could change the layout or the way yours looks. My personal favorite is Ninja. You have to put your town in so it changes by the day. And now you have all this different look, and one of my favorite things is that the stars are now throwing stars. I think that's kind of cool. But it just makes it feel like more of your own.
Yeah, so if you go down on the side, there's chat, and chat allows you to talk on Google's own instant messaging network, Google Talk, or AOL AIM. And to sign into AIM, you just click this arrow, and then you go sign into AIM. So that's not enabled by default. It has normal things like other instant messaging, like you can be invisible or away. And I think it's really nice you can just chat within Gmail without having to download anything. And that works wherever you are.
But it's really not full featured. It's just like it's a basic bare bones chat client. It's not as good as something like Adium or Pigeon or something you'd install on your own machine.
Yeah. So if you install a plugin, you can get calling and video chat within Gmail. But I don't really like that. I think you're better off just using something like Skype for that. Another thing about Gmail chat is unless you disable this, which you can disable overall or per conversation, Gmail saves every chat message you've ever had, which is in the chat section over here. So if you click that, then you'll just see all the chats.
So I think Gmail is a really neat thing. For someone like me who has a bunch of different email addresses, I use it. It helps me sort all my mail out and keeps me much more organized. I have used Outlook in the past, but I think this is much easier because it's kind of under the umbrella of cloud computing, where you can go anywhere and your mail is exactly the way you like it. Set up, you have everything the way you want, and it works. Google Gears allows you to access your Gmail offline and lets you kind of read your mail and write drafts of stuff you want to send, so that when you get back online, it sends it out and you're good to go. Another thing to mention is there is a mobile version of Gmail, which is great for people on mobile phones, PDAs, something like my N800. You can just log in, and you don't get the cool themes, but you get your Gmail, you got your labels, you got the basic functions that you need.
And Gmail, for some mobile phones, Google actually makes a mobile application that's exactly synchronized for it.
I'm Mike Gdovin.
I'm Reed. Dame.
Check out Gmail.
To watch this episode again, or to watch any of our prior episodes, you can visit our website, 911.tecker.net, T-E-C-K-E-R. And on the website, we have our prior episodes, as well as you can view them directly on the website, or you can download them in WMV for Windows, iPod or QuickTime format for your iPod, or if you have iTunes installed, an MP3 audio-only version of the show, and a WMV HD version of the show, which you can download via BitTorrent that looks really, really clear and in pristine HD quality. And instructions for downloading via BitTorrent are also on the site. On the right-hand side, we have more information about us and about each of the members of the show, as well as quick links to all of our prior episodes and links to the RSS feeds for each of the formats that we release the show in, and links to subscribe to the show in iTunes if you have an iPod, an Apple TV, an iPhone, any Apple device. You can click on that link in either video or audio format. You can also, in iTunes, search for Tecker, T-E-C-K-E-R, in the iTunes store, and then you can find our podcast that you can subscribe to free. Also, if you do not have an iPod, if you have like a generic MP3 player, then you can use the You can still listen to our show if on our website you subscribe to this MP3 audio version in a feed catcher, in a podcatcher like Juice. You can search for Juice on Google, download that program, and then it'll load the shows automatically onto your generic MP3 playing device. If you have any questions about the show or about technology, you can send us an email at 911@tecker.net, or you can leave us a voicemail at 610-572-2847. Thank you so much for watching Tecker 911.